good. Let me play Fortnite. Actually, I don't care about this anymore. But Iran was getting serious. That's really good. There. I don't know what that is. I'll just play this. To be honest.
Clashes between protesters and security forces in Iran now turning deadly, with at least 3 people killed and 17 injured at a protest today.
That's not even that much. I thought it was way crazier.
The demonstrations have been escalating for days, sparked by worsening economic conditions in the country. Cost of living is high, inflation is soaring.
Yeah, I'm surprised. She's literally with a gun. How is there only 3 deaths?
This video shows a protester sitting in the street,
Super surprising.
officers.
It's still way worse than nothing, but like, surprising.
Yeah, it was the first thing I thought of too.
I remember there was like a bombing in Boston Marathon and there was like 100 people injured and only like 1 dead. Which is crazy. How would that even happen? But they did apparently. So.
Died in police custody after she was arrested for not properly wearing a hijab. The latest unrest comes amid a period of heightened tension between Iran.
Yep, that's exactly it. Why do you think that the U.S. went to war with Iraq, Syria, Libya, and Iraq, and now wants Iran regime change?
Not properly, so they're saying she was.
America is not the center of every political event that happens in the entire world. I know this might be hard for you to disconnect from, but has it ever occurred to you that maybe the Iranian people don't want to be oppressed by a bunch of psycho fucking religious nutballs? Think about that.
Iran and the West. The Iranian president recently said
Yeah, the Iranian people like Israel and the U.S.
And earlier this week,
Just their government.
this stark warning to Iran over its nuclear program.
Oh, this is hard because I have to choose between here and there.
Dozens of protesters have been arrested.
Yep.
The State Department tonight saying demonstrators are facing, quote, intimidation and violence from Iran's government and is calling on the crackdown to end. Kate?
Yep, no, this is exactly what's happening. And the water crisis in Iran is the final straw for people. Yeah, of course. Come on, Secret Service has fingers in that. What are you even thinking about? So I don't even understand what your logic is. So because you've invented a conspiracy that the United States is the one that's trying to push for this Iranian regime change. So now it's bad. It doesn't even make sense. It makes sense when all they care about is hating America. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's generally what's happening. And it's just getting worse and worse.
I already put my.
Guys, holy shit.
I'm sorry to say, but it's pretty hard to win this. It's pretty hard to do anything in this mode.
Are about far more than just the cost of living, which, by the way, is skyrocketing.
Yeah, it's a shithole.
Hironoff, he's Israel's international spokesperson at the United Nations.
Iran has 48% inflation. That's pretty bad.
That's not even the worst, but yeah, that's crazy.
Jonathan, your thoughts about what might be different about day 6 now of this unrest in Iran, because we've seen this before.
They're roaching out hard.
Great to be with you, Brian. I think it's important to note that the protests that are taking place currently in Iran are not just about the economy, not just about the currency plummeting. It's very much a culmination of 46 years of the Iranian their regime, and they're saying enough is enough. And we're seeing the protests increase in terms of spreading to more than a dozen of Iran's 31 provinces. And it's not just the shopkeepers and the bazaar owners and the merchants who are taking part. You've got Gen Zers, you've got young people, you've got old people.
I think it's primarily young people that I've seen. There's been a lot of young people.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad.
That they've had enough of this very brutal regime.
I mean, talk about inflation. You know, people are complaining about 2.7%.
Do you think the timing is coincidental link?
Whatever, let's
Iran,
go.
all of a sudden mass protests?
Oh no, let's go to that.
I actually don't. I think that really there's probably a good chance. So Iran is probably this could be their play. I don't really know. but they could be trying to drum up a conflict in the eyes of the people between Iran and Israel or Iran and America in order to make the people in that country who are patriotic side with Iran to prevent making people
This is so
think that
dumb. I
the
don't know
Iranian
what
government
this
has
is.
failed them. So, like, basically, you're falling back on, you know, people being afraid for their country and hoping that that nationalism will take over and they won't be able to look at it objectively. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that's definitely
I
a
don't.
possibility of what's happening, but I think also, like, us bombing those Iran centers as well, I think that every single thing that we've done has made them weaker over time. And
See, like, how are
that's
these
always been my
people
position
so
on
good?
this, is that, like, I think that we should keep bombing Iran to the extent that they keep trying to make nuclear weapons. We absolutely should. I don't want them with nuclear weapons. I don't want them with ICBMs. I don't want them with anything. They're a bunch of fucking psychos, and I don't want to have to deal with them at all. So, fear is their ultimate weapon? Absolutely. So, yeah, bombing's helped a lot. People need help. Yeah, and so every single time that happens, though, it chips away at, it chips to Israel. When you talk, every single conversation about Iran doesn't have to do with Israel. Like, there are some people that try to make everything about Israel because Israel and Iran have problems, but Iran can exist as a separate problem that is completely different from Israel. Like, Iran, even if Israel didn't exist, Iran would still be a problem. It has nothing to do with that. So, my point is that I think that what's happening now is that...
What do you mean? That's so dumb. I mean, it's true, but what do you mean?
And any government that's like in a
His audience has gotten so dumb that they think that that's not true.
or
Like, what?
totalitarian, I don't know, you can use 50 different words, right? But the point is,
Oh,
any shitty
wait, but
government
it's
that's controlling,
legendary. I'll just
they
pick it
have
up.
to maintain the illusion of
I'll
power
do it.
and the illusion of fear. And the moment that that's gone, then the people revolt and they're dead. That's the reason why they're doing it.
Inflation here in Iran is at 42.2%, $1 compared to 1.4 million reals. That's their currency. So people are saying we can't afford anything. There also is a water shortage. And how do they feel about billions of dollars, between $1 and $2 billion being sent to Hezbollah since the war ended, and about $300 million being sent to Hamas while they're living in these conditions?
Yeah, exactly. Iran is funding terrorism all around the world. 1 USD is equal to 42,000 Iranian rial. Yeah, it's really fucking bad.
Doesn't mean that I think the Japanese yen is crazy, but maybe there used to be.
And they can't afford to provide food and water on the table.
Doesn't mean anything actually what you just said.
Billions of dollars into terrorist proxies abroad.
Yep.
That's going to irritate people, and that's why they're going into the streets.
Well, should we get involved
Irritated.
in unrest inside countries? It's
Irritated is a massive understatement. You talk about freedom and totalitarianism. Should I remind you of what happened during COVID and until Elon bought Twitter? Yeah, go ahead and remind me about that, and then compare it to the Islamic regime. Go ahead and talk about getting banned on a social media website. Saying it has a policing around whether women are showing their hair. There are levels of totalitarianism that you can't even comprehend. You don't even know how bad it is. Like, yeah, that was bad that we had that happen here.
It's so retarded that they think Israel is this
It's not
bad,
in the same universe.
like, actor and all of this.
In 2009,
It is technically within the own state, but like they're way worse government. A lot of terrible governments are bad in their own state and even worse than that, basically.
listen to what President Trump just put up on Truth Social a
Because
few hours ago.
Israel's a
Saying
good
this,
country.
if Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United
what
States
they do.
will come to the rescue. We are locked and loaded, ready to go. Thank you for your attention on this matter. What does this do?
I think it puts the regime on watch, and even if they don't take that message seriously, I think it will also encourage international organizations like the UN, Western governments, and mainstream media to actually focus on what's going on in Iran.
Well, it's also good to give the Iranian people a degree of like feeling like somebody's on their side. I mean, I think that matters a lot too.
been lacking up until this
I
point.
mean, you think about Iran. They've been kicked out of Syria, thankfully, right? Whatever you think of the regime, they're not welcome there.
That's
But
right.
they have a foothold in Iraq.
And now the guy from Syria is here in the United States. He's in the White House. Everything's fine. We're able to do business with him again. And if there's a problem, we can work with the government. Everything can be a lot better than it is now. That's it.
If there could be something done there to free Iraq to have their own elections.
That's we need more people come to the streets because Trump gave us hope. Yeah, no doubt.
A ripple effect throughout the region.
This could have a transformative impact, not just in Iran, but in the entire region. When we're talking about things like Abraham Accords,
Yeah.
imagine an Iran that is no
The
longer
best here
governed
out of all the healing
dictators and
things.
actually has a leadership that wants to pursue peace.
So what
Yeah, you've got to keep in mind, like, I mean, I showed the geography of Iran before. Iran has the potential to be like an incredibly rich country. Probably
But
a
it's
top 10,
with a lot of
maybe not top
Islamist
10, maybe
countries,
not, I
it's
don't
that
know.
way.
But at least a top 20 wealthiest countries in the world based off of their geography.
Bro, the US doesn't even, like, most of the countries in the Middle East, maybe not Israel, but have the potential to be more rich than the US. Israel's just a tiny country, and since the whole Middle East, actually, I don't know. But yeah, it's a tiny country, that's why it can't really be a rich
It's a
country.
total perversion of what I think that their
No, I'm not
their
going
destiny
there.
should be. Persians, not Iranians. Yeah, it will be soon.
the next step for the U.S.?
Persia used to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest empire at times. It was. Yeah.
Be brave and bold and direct in his message this morning. I think we should continue to focus on what's going on inside
But if they
Iran.
kill protesters, and they have. They killed the 37-year-old.
I'm sure they kill people. Yeah.
Taken a couple of dozen women into prison, put them in the worst prison. So aren't they actually calling us out? Are we at risk for saying things and not backing it up?
Well, I think what should
Well, I shouldn't go to fight
We're just
anyway.
looking at New York and the United States. I think the United Nations should step up, and the United States has definitely done a tremendous amount. Israel is very supportive of the people of Iran, and we should be
This
using
is true, and I know people are very poised against Israel, but the truth is that Iran and Israel, before this takeover, had a number of collective goals that they were trying to achieve together. Like, for example, there was a pipeline that they were doing together. And so there is a point where Iran and Israel can get back and they can work together again, because it happened before, and it's just because of the current government why it's not happening. So yeah, before the dog Ayatollah, yeah, exactly, right? So I think it will happen.
these diplomatic tools and other measures when they don't work.
And that'll be better. That will be better for us, and also better for Israel. And it'll just make everything better. Straight up, it will just be better.
The United Nations, but they're very silent about what's going on in Iran. The Secretary General hasn't said anything. There's been no urgent Security Council session convened on this Syrian matter. The only Security Council session convened this past week was about Israel's recognition of Somaliland. That's all they seem to care about. If it doesn't concern Israel, the United Nations doesn't seem to.
Okay, whatever. Let's
Yeah.
The problem. The problem.
No, America can't involve themselves directly with this, because then we will be agitators in a foreign conflict, and whoever takes over after the Iranian government is overthrown will be seen as a American proxy or a Western proxy. They have to have their own governance.
The people are
It
rising
has to
against the
happen.
government. The risk is if we're too aggressive, then they say the U.S. and Israel are behind this.
Seeing
and
posts
that
popping off.
becomes
Yeah, I'm going to look at the more of them too.
I think ultimately what the Iranian people want is not necessarily boots on the ground, but they want an active disassociation of Western governments
Yeah.
from the Islamic Republic, from aiding and abetting the Islamic Republic,
Exactly.
using diplomatic tools
Aniloni, vęca miska.
and supporting the people in their
Yeah, you got-
Ode mnie, daj
Iran's being strangled to death with sanctions too. Do you think vaccinations will
Mata
support the
koesala.
Ayatollah regime? No, I don't think so.
Right. There are unpopular, horrible
Okay,
regimes, and
done.
their days, which I hope are over. Thanks
Yeah.
so much. Great to see
I
you.
don't think they're going to at all.
Yeah, okay, that actually makes sense.
But I wouldn't
Okay,
really
bye,
expect
guys.
that to happen. I would find that to be very, very unlikely. Oh,
Hey,
this
let's
is
go.
crazy. Reminder that the body positivity movement was started by a Muslim woman who was the victim of an acid attack. It was never supposed to be about fat people.